Okay, let me say what I was trying to say in my last video in a slightly different way. If someone already tells us that the answer that we need to come up with, and we'll use math as an analogy here. If we're told that the answer is 100 and we need to create the equation or the formula to get to 100, if we come up with a formula that no matter how hard we try, we can't get to 100, then we know that our formula, our equation, what we've come up with is wrong. So people sent me comments as if I had never read or studied Ephesians 1 or Romans 9 and their particular reading of it, or some cherry-picked verses out of the Psalms. God is in heaven, he does whatever he wants. As if I'd never seen them. I've seen them, I've memorized them, I've studied the original languages. I know those passages. But what I was saying was that we know the answer, the theological answer that we're supposed to come up with is Jesus. That's very clear. He said, "He who has seen me has seen the Father." Stop looking past me to try to come up with some other theological conception of God. And we also know that we're supposed to look to him, and as we do, look to Jesus, we're transformed into the same image, etc. Um, no one has seen God at any time, the only begotten God who's in the bosom of the Father. He explained him. There's all these passages. In him, the fullness of deity dwells in bodily form, etc. We're supposed to be looking to Jesus as the main focus of our theology. He's the answer. And so all I was saying was that the theological equations that the Reformed and the Calvinists are working from never come to the biblically stated answer of Jesus. They come up with, if the answer in our math analogy is 100, they keep coming up with answers like 1,742 or whatever. So if you put the pieces together wrong and you can't get to the answer, then you're putting the pieces together in a way that you need to go back to the drawing board until you can come up with an equation that comes out to 100, or a theology that comes out to Jesus. And this reminds me of what is called Zeno's paradox. It's an ancient paradox Zeno of Elea came up with that proves with impeccable logic that if, I'll try to make it simple, if someone is twice as fast as me, they can never catch me if they give me a head start. Why? Because once they get to my starting point, I've gone half the distance, because they're twice as fast. This isn't difficult. So then they reach my the new point at which I have arrived at, and I've gone half the distance, and they can never catch me, and the logic is impeccable, and no one in over 2 millennia has been able to solve it. Some people change the equation or the factors and think they've solved it. They haven't solved it. The puzzle still remains. So that's what I'm saying. You can use impeccable logic, but what we know is that, say, Usain Bolt, if he gives me a head start, he's going to catch me pretty quick, even though the logic tells me he won't. The answer and the result is, we know what the result is. And if our logic doesn't get us there, then we have a problem with our logic. And that's what I'm trying to say about Reformed theology. It does not come to the answer of Jesus being our focal point or our vision of God, and therefore there must be something wrong with it.